thesis mentions there is no soul in the human body, and the religious books that talk about the existence of a soul are non-identical with modern science.
Modern scientific revolution, most of them thought that we were not entirely physical. So what is it that's changed in the last, say, 100 years that has made it clear to us that there's no such thing as a soul?
Now we prove there is scientific evidence for having a soul in the human body, and the Quran is completely identical with scientific evidence. The first scientific evidence confirms the presence of the soul. Dr. Duncan McDougall performed a series of experiments on patients suffering from incurable illnesses, and Dr. McDougall said if has a soul already, it will have some weight.
McDougall believed that if the soul had weight, it could be detected at the moment of death when the soul supposedly departs from the body. McDougall chose 6 terminally ill patients who were nearing the end of their lives due to tuberculosis, the moments of death. As the patients approached their final moments, McDougall and his team stood vigil, waiting for the inevitable. When a patient passed away, they recorded the exact time of death and noted any weight change on the scales. McDougall's experiments did indeed yield some intriguing results. He claimed that at the moment of death, each of the 6 patients experienced an immediate weight loss of approximately 21 grams.
He had the same experiments on dogs and discovered that dogs don't have a soul and only living animals.
Dr. McDougall conducted the same experiment on 15 dogs. The experiment showed no change in weight following their death.
God told us that human is not only material but he is material and soul. Allah says in the Holy Quran,
وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا.
And they ask you, O Muhammad, about the soul. Say, the soul is of the affair of my Lord, and mankind have not been given of knowledge except a little.
Now modern science has proven that man is only material but also material and soul.
Now technological devices, different gadgets, we are in this field. We have created BioWell. So by measuring energy, by seeing your energy field around your body, around other people, we understand that we are not just material being. We are not just flesh. We are much more than that. We are energy beings. We are light beings. We are God creators. And we are enlightened with divine light.
Due to Soviet scientist Semyon's discovery in 1939, the scientists were able to photograph a soul. This technique has been recognized by the Russian Ministry of Health.
Soviet scientist Semyon Kurlian made a curious discovery. As a result of the process of placing a small object, such as a coin or a leaf, on photographic paper, and passing a high voltage across it, he received a photograph that showed a glowing aura around the object he used. This gave a start to whole generations of scientists who would use this technique. These claims include taking photos of the human aura, the body's vital energy chi, and even the human soul leaving the body at the moment of death. Korotkov claims that the blue color in the captured image is nothing but the individual's vital energy gradually abandoning the body during death.
We can see how the soul of the woman who was driving the motorcycle was captured outside her body. The soul left the body when she died immediately after the strong impact.
Dr. Arthur head of an electrical department at the University of London. Arthur wanted to prove whether human has a soul or not. Does a human lose something during death or not? He requested volunteers to conduct experiments on them to measure the energy made during the exit of this. A Muslim student said to Arthur, there is an alternative to measuring the energy made, and it is measuring the energy made by anyone during his sleep. The doctor said, what is the relationship between dying and sleep? The student replied, I don't know, but God calls between them in the Holy Quran.
الله يتوفى الأنفس حين موتها والتي لم تمت في منامها فيمسك التي قضى عليها الموت ويرسل الأخرى إلى أجل مسمى إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون.
Allah takes the souls at the time of their death, and those that do not die He takes during their sleep. Then He keeps those for which He has decreed death and releases the others for a specified term. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought.
So Arthur, to measure the energy difference at capita is awake and sleep. Dr. Arthur found that the sleeping person loses some energy, which is equal to what a human loses when his soul departs. He proved that there is a thing that comes out of a human whether at sleep or this the soul. This verse was the reason for Arthur's conversion to Islam, because this verse is identical to what Arthur had discovered.
I am here in this conference because you, my colleague, and I decided that we would offer a paper on some unusual states of consciousness which are not very much the concern of normal science, but which are certainly dealt with in the Quran and Hadith. States of consciousness of the human being called out-of-the-body experiences, lucid dreaming and near-death experiences. I found recently that my beliefs, my practices of many years appear to be in agreement with those of Muslims. I witness that there is no God but Allah, and I witness that Muhammad is his prophet.
The money from the Sahel did convict a murderer. Let's see how that happened.
She married Edward Shue, a local blacksmith. 3 months later, she was found dead at the bottom of the stairs in their home near Lewisburg. Her death was ruled an accident, which her grief-stricken mother Mary Jane Easter accepted. But a shocking series of events would soon change Mary Jane's mind, and she became convinced Zona had been murdered. The reason? Zona's ghost told her so. Soon after Zona's death, Mary Jane told people around the town that her daughter had been visiting her bedside at night, insisting that she had been strangled to death by a raging, angry Edward. Mary Jane went to the county prosecutor to report her fears. The prosecutor was so intrigued with the tale that he reopened the investigation and exhumed Zona's body, which indeed had a broken neck, the only time a spirit's testimony was allowed in court. Edward Shue was found guilty and died in prison in 1900.